Morning, Darryl. Artist in recovery. It's 5:38 Saturday morning on the 5th of October 2024. Yeah, I'm sending a couple of videos down your pathway. Caught the one concerning about the homeless guy yesterday. I just saw it today. I did several of my videos regarding the homeless situation out here. And I thought I'd send some of that stuff already to you a long time ago. You just probably hadn't noticed anything. So, suppose I gotta tell the whole stories all over again. Hopefully not the cliff notes. Uh, that homeless guy at the storefront. There's a lot of them out here. I get political about it because I'm seeing how screwed up it is more and more. I know homeless is a constant thing in human nature, in human history. It's just gotten worse and more alienating for those who are struggling for survival. You feel grateful and thankful that you got a roof over the head, so do I, but I also have to keep a reminder. Eventually it'll happen again. That's the scariest damn thing in my particular position. Not having sufficient enough funds to find another place to live in, or find a place to live, period. I'm stuck with the bug-ridden place I've got right now as it is. If you see anything crawling around, don't freak. It's still bugware, so I'd live with it on a constant basis. About being homeless, being tossed out a few times in my lifetime. Yeah. The only time in my life that I actually was becoming homeless was when my brother and I were tossed out before we got this place. And it was right after Ma's death back in 2013. We were going through an eviction from the apartment complex management. Not the local management, it was corporate, trying to get rid of us. We tried to fight them in court, even with legal representation, but we still had to leave anyway. Eventually, you found a place out in Rosemont here with a trailer home. And the trailer home was a godsend in itself. Well, we thought it was. Well, we got scammed by a leasing agent and by park management. They wanted a high turnover with some people. We were one of those. We were among several of them. We lost a lot of our stuff in the process. We lived in a motel room. We were lucky. But we were also blessed because we had people donating enough just to keep us under a roof. And because my brother was a vet, that got a lot of people's attention online to help keep a roof over our head for almost a month. That wasn't that easy, though. Land the apartment. But the thing is, I also been aware of the community of the homeless. Besides being part of it, I'd also gone to food banks originally and talked to people and listened to stories. You're grateful for where you are in your community, but and you called it an alternative reality that you could have been in that kind of a situation. Well, I can tell you one thing, my brother had been in that situation because we tossed him out because of the drugs. He came back as a skeleton. Wanted to come home and stay home. And originally I didn't want him home. I didn't know who the hell he was. It took a long while for me to recognize he was still my brother. Needed more help. That's why the 12-step meetings were a saving grace for his ass. Nothing else was. He died clean, sober, 32 years. Age of 60. September 8th, 2018. The hardest date for me to live with. Also, the hardest day for me to live with is my mother's passing back on 2019. Actually, it was 2013. It was February 19th. When I'm dealing with that kind of memory loss, it scares the hell out of me because I'm losing stuff in my head on this one. I had ignored the homeless people growing up, going as a teenager to an adult. I didn't know who and what they were. I heard, but when you didn't experience, when you didn't have any meetings with them. As a teenager, I had an encounter with one guy who I felt sorry for. And he was under an awning in front of a building. It was along the walkway between point A and point B. I was getting lunch for my mama and me. I felt sorry for the guy. I didn't know how to think or talk and do anything about it. By the time I came back to the office where she was at, my mama, talked to her about it. Still had a few bucks, tried to go over there, see if I can help him out, but he already disappeared. He moved off. Rattled my cage on that one. Had an opportunity to help out and didn't even realize it. I come across another situation in my lifetime years later. Working from a place. Let's just say the job and me weren't conducive with each other. Stayed there for about a few weeks until I got fired. But during that time, I met a couple who was on the streets hustling. And I gave him a few bucks. That was between me and a job and Starbucks. And you got money in your pocket and not any good sense with it. Act like you're a millionaire and spend it all. I went in there and got me a large large mocha. My specialty coffee. It cost me $7 at the time. $7 could feed a person. Managed to rent out a store. Or it can help get another person another hit if necessary, or even a small hit. I thought they were in need. But then I kept coming across them. Got to a point where I decided I was going to give them some food. But I also noticed the toll it was taking me at home with the resources I was limited to. When I said no, they disappeared. Never saw them again. I even forgot what their names were. I barely remember what their faces were now. Back then I knew. These days, they're a lesson. You start saying no to people that you're helping, they'll disappear on you. They may have been using me for a lot of things, that's for sure. They're in a neighborhood, but they disappeared out of the neighborhood. Once I said no, I couldn't help them up that particular day. That was the day that they disappeared from my life. But if I could say sure, then they're going to steal milk on me like a damn leech. There had been a time, even in people in program, that would do a leech act, play the program as if there were fiddles, including the people in there. There had been one girl who did that. We thought we knew her, but we heard that she was somewhat of a flake. My brother and I had to talk about it. I met this lady on a bus. Prior to that, we met this particular lady, a young woman actually. Problem is, she had also bounced from place to place to place as we talked to other people, so we had to be wary about it. But for about a week or two, she said she was going to be giving us money from a disability check. Nearly a couple of weeks, she was running us dry, and we had to. And the time when it came for her to give us money, she didn't. Should have kept up a damn balance on her. Write things down. Didn't happen. Should have done it. Something to bring her to court on that one, but she wouldn't be able to pay for it. So the only thing we said was we're gonna get you out of here because you can't pay your rent. We can't keep you here. Hang on a second. Oh, I was going to be blathering up a storm over here, and that just screwed things up for you. Sorry about that. We've had our fair share of homeless out here in Roseman. We've had people who've actually had, besides drug problems, it's the mental health issues that we can't deal with. We don't have facilities and expertise out here in our town. We're dependent upon the kindness of Bakersfield. And maybe Mojave if they actually got it. Well, they got just outpatient. That's about it. Ain't gonna help them much. Maybe with the medications, but they won't use it. We already had somebody trying to do that stuff, and it didn't work out too well for us. But something happened along the area that we just can't deal with it. We have campgrounds happening up and down the railroads between here and Palmdale, and they get raided every so often. Even in certain widespread territory we have. Can we do Google Maps, please? Can we do Google Maps? And also, I want you to open up another browser. I think I already talked to you about this one, but if I didn't, I'm gonna repeat myself. CalFire.ca.gov. I want to see the incident board on this one. Now, we talked about how homeless have a problem concerning about their own personal issues, drug abuse, financial situations. So how about weather or unman-made stuff? And I'm going to show you. because you've probably already been hearing it too many damn times. You've seen the flooding situation happening. That's one. Try fire. That's another. Hurricanes is another. So we've already got these natural phenomenon making people homeless, taking out huge communities. We had Oregon making a dumbass thing affect everybody across the board in the country, making homeless people NIMBY. Eventually making you NIMBY one of these here days, and me again. And that's what scares the hell out of me, even to my own age. We're both 58, pushing 59. Do we got any more left to be on the streets? Not in my book. I said about the California fires. Take a look at how many communities have already been affected by the damn thing. Large enough communities have already been taken out. Up in the Sierras. Northern California regions, right in the mountain ranges, in the forest on the east side of the state. And that's the stuff we have to face out here in the West Coast. We also face about a potential landslide. It's already been averted, thank God, or mostly prevented. If it wasn't, we would lose Rancho Palos Verdes. It's that stubby thing out there. Stubby out there right by LA. Looks like it's got vampire teeth on it. Gotta get close enough to it to see it. Decades we've had little sliding happening on Rancho Palos Verdes and put enough weight in the damn thing. It was really going to be going off the edge. Add a lot of water to it, and that place is going to be going off the rails. But with the hydroggers trying to drain every last drop, they're trying to stabilize the land. It's on an angle with a lot of pressure on the material on top, and with sufficient enough liquid, slip sliding away. They're stabilizing it for right now. They're draining a lot of water, 600 gallons a minute out of that water table. That's a lot of fluid. You remember the old game, or actually the old slides during the summertime? Slip and slide. Plastic sheet filled up with water. Slippery enough for that one. The only injuries you get is bumps, bruises, scrapes. But you go across the water. Imagine the community on that, but it's at an angle where the gravity is pulling it down towards the coastline, towards the water. Take out the fluid, you just may stabilize the rock enough where it just slowly creeps, but not like whoosh. So that's one thing to worry about. Let me show you the other ones. The mountainsides that we have, the hillsides, are still full of forest. But they're being depleted left and right because we got a lunatic out there who's had fires left and right. So now we got everything else burning up like crazy. Stabilizing right now for most fires that we've got, except a few of them are still popping up here. Speaking of which, let me terrify you. Let me scare you. My territory. I got fire area. I got wildfires in my neighborhood. Isn't that wonderful? Antelope Valley, California. The Wedge shaped desert that you see right above LA. Well, you see something called Ruby. That's the Ruby fire. And if you happen to scroll in the northern area, you'll see the Ruby fire over there. But of course, on the map type on Google Maps, you would have to hit the wildfire and then hit the satellite. And I wanted to show you something there. And this all happens to deal with homeless. So let me just roll with it here. This is going to be a long video. Fires have a way of making communities disappear. Sufficient enough, out of control, enough fuel and temperature you will eliminate communities. If it's in an area, it'll eat it. It'll eat up the territory. It'll eat up anything and everything. As long as it's got the fuel for it, as long as it's got the temperature and humidity for it, oh yeah. We're talking fun city for the fire here, boys and girls. But not so much for communities. We've already lost a few of them over the past couple of decades up in the northern Sierras in California. Out here, we haven't lost them yet. But I wanted to show you the terrain that we're dealing with out here. So, with the Google Maps, kind sir, in the Antelope Valley, and you're looking at the area of Roseman, you're scrolling it up. You already got your fire icon already selected with the satellite. Helps you out. Now, it's not going to show you the fires itself, but just where they're targeting this thing. And I'll bring it over to CAL FIRE on the next one here. Use the same Google technology, but I like the Google Maps for right now, just for the flybys and to show you what we're dealing with here. Of course, if you want to get rid of the map details, just hit the little X so you can clear that out. But you see the communities we're living in out here. But I want you to get closer to the ground. I want you to get closer to the ground. Take a look. Get closer if you can. Looks like mold, right? Brush, scrub, chaparral, flammable. Got an idea? Got a picture? Imagine that up in flames. Scared? I should be. Because what they call the Ruby Fire is definitely in my territory. And I'll tell you why. With that layer of chaparral, even up the hillside, fire will go uphill. But if it has to, it'll go downhill as well. If they got sufficient enough forces on it, they'll take care of it. But since we're already talking about 40 or 50 acres here, that's a lot of acreage out there, ain't it? Let me show you something. Once you get the Ruby Fire then, let's head over to Edwards Air Force Base, shall we? Go to the east. Get past the 14 freeways on the east side of it, and you'll see more of the community out there. Now drop it south. Take the solar panels and just move it up. Keep heading north. Keep making a move north. Keep following that Sierra Highway and the 14 freeway. Past Ansel. See in the mountainous scrub area? We also have homes out in that territory. Until you actually come to the real place. Home sweet home. Now you see the 14 freeway and Sierra Highway and all its infinite glory. All that nice, lovely housing community out there. Say hello to home. I needed that. Okay, so we're heading over to Roseman Boulevard here, pal. And you'll see the only off-ramp right there. You see a community on the right, and you also see retail and community on the left. We need to go to the right. Keep scrolling to the right until you get to the edge where it says United Street and Roseman Boulevard. A little bit more to the east is Edwards Air Force Base. But on United and Roseman, home sweet home. Do me a favor. Let's deep dive into this chaparral, shall we? I told you it's going to be a long video. Scroll until you see the mold coming at your face. See that? Fresh. Been there for decades. Ready to go up. All we need is an out of control situation. And then we got this damn thing to scare the living crap out of people out here. Now you see United. This is an old picture from earlier this year, well before July 4th. Well, that was a fun time. You got a pit in there in the apartment complex. July 4th, that was on fire. Yeah, it was on fire, dude. We had one truck coming in. Actually, two trucks coming in. Support staff and a 3-engine crew putting that thing out. Within about a half an hour, or almost an hour, it was down. Kids and their damn fireworks. The next day, same apartment complex. This time it took 1-engine crew to take out a trash can fire. A trash can fire. Somehow I just managed to pull up the older images of what the back of the apartment looks like. I'm on 1199 Hampshire Way. Somehow I got this thing into Google Street View. So I'm scrolling around seeing what the beautiful terraced area looks like without damn graffiti all over the place. But I'm also scrolling closer to it to show you, if you're able to do the Street View and you're looking at 1199 Hampshire Way, if you go look at the back of the apartment complex, please. Oh, wait. You got an apartment complex, so you would recognize features. Covered back area for parking. Ooh, there's an enclosed area that's supposed to be with garbage can. Well, look how nice and shiny it is. July 5th, it was black. That was a pit. That was a fire pit. We had a can out already, but somebody decided to do something about a firework in there, so we just had that thing in the fire. Engine came out to take care of that one, just a one. Show you something in the back here. I'm looking eastward towards the airbase now, along Hampshire. I'm going to go forward. I'm still going to go forward. More forward. Side story on this one here, before you go any further. The driveway. Yeah. July 4th, we still had two stupid kids who lived in the neighborhood try to blow us up again. And July 4th. We had the fire already going out in the pit. We had an engine in the parking lot with the 3 fire crew working on the pit. And these kids were right next to the damn fire engine on the driveway trying to blow things up. Okay, going over towards United here. You'll see the nice white desert and a little bit of a mound in the background there. Well, that's their satellite area. I mean, that's where they got the telecommunications going on. It's picturesque, isn't it? For a desert area. But I want to show you something. Now, just before you get onto United and you're still at the stop sign, pal, scroll it over where you see the apartment complex. And I just wanted to show you what we're dealing with for burnables. Now, you saw the landscape out there already, right? On the United side, you saw the desert. You saw the chaparral. You're seeing the plant and you're seeing the homes. You seeing any barriers? Show you something else. Now, since you're on United, let's head over to Roseman. Just take one click. Now, maneuver it where you see the apartment coming up in view. Now, just with the scroll button on the mouse, I want you to point your view towards that pit. You see the tree sticking out? Kind of magnify. How much chaparral do we have in this picture here? This was dated back in May of 22nd. May 2022. A few years back. Before it got torched. Healthy, strong trees, right? Brush. Nothing could happen here, right? July 4th. Boom. Talk about a homeless situation. We almost became homeless. I'm going to get over to Rosemont Boulevard. I'm going to maneuver until I see it westbound. The picture I've got here is still a bit dated May 2022. So I'm seeing the apartment complex on the right hand side. I'm seeing the trailer homes on the left hand side. But I'm going to maneuver my image until I see, oh, there's a bit of burnables there. Flammables. Wide enough area, right? I mean, this could be a fire buffer zone bit. Not quite so much. Let's go up Rosemont, shall we? Past the red light. Now, when they were this was still dated a couple of years back, so we still had some burnables today. They're still trying to knock out a bit, cut it up, so we don't have to deal with this. We are dealing with a drought-stricken area still, and during this time is when we're supposed to be having a drought, because we had it a couple of years. So, looking at the complex here, dude, this is home. This is home for me. You'll see somewhat of a manager's office. You'll see the driveway in the center area. What scares me the most is when we get more and more chaparral in the area. And it scared the hell out of me because we kept thinking about fire problems. This is home. This is home. This is home. Going up one or two more clicks so I can show you. Okay, Elderberta's on the left-hand side. Click one more time. Okay, so now I get to maneuver. Ah, shit. Oh, I already showed you the back of the area over there, so I'm just going to go up the street a bit. But just to show you what we're dealing with for fire breaks and anything happens with a fire. Now, if they actually showed the pictures maybe about a few years more earlier on it, we would have had more of a problem here. I'll see you on the right hand side there, dude. Yeah, I know it's a long video. Isn't it fun? Tree line area on the right hand side, on the north side, extending all the way from Rosemont Boulevard on a perpendicular. See that? At one time the field when it wasn't plowed under, it was full of brush and chaparral. But the tree area extends all the way up to a trailer park on the other side. Now in this area, it's habitable for homeless. But this picture was taken in April of 2022. Things have changed. they had to take out certain areas over here. This is without a sidewalk. This is the dirt path that they actually have. There was a pathway in between these things that people would walk through, and used to be heavier with the chaparral, with the tree covering. Notice how close it was to the pole? And this is in April 22nd. This whole area is a place to really go up and smoke. But this was home. This is home. Now this is May 22nd, and now they got a roadway. Now we got a pathway to go past the thing. And everybody's okay with that. What I want to see, and you'll see the trailer homes with a lot of chaparral dating between April and May of 2022 of different places that might be torched or something like that, and construction happening. Probably going to ask me what my point is. And you're not seeing the bigger picture. Looks like there was a dust storm on that day. Or maybe I'm not seeing this thing right. Pictures change. Dust storm here, dust storm gone. Oh, across the street from the apartment complex, or actually on the same side of the street of the apartment complex, we still have chaparral. You think that's nothing? Got heavier stuff in different areas of our town. We're still a desert region. And the reason how come they blur is because people don't want their homes or anything else on camera. I'm trying to blur a few things here and there. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to get out of this damn thing. Just to get the top portion. And the top portion is where they have the 2024 images. Closer on the ground, they would show you the personal stuff. But over the air, I can show you what it looks like. Let me switch back over to looking from north and south, west and east. Right along the train tracks by Sierra Highway. There used to be trees in this section, different areas. That's where they would camp out at. And still try to. But since they've been taking out the trees left and right over the past year or two, they're no longer able to camp in that area. So they camp out in the human inhabited areas. Mainly, if they have abandoned homes or abandoned places in Rosemont, they'll hang out there. But this is a very wide spread out with areas that could actually go up and smoke. The homeless guy you were talking about, we're dealing with a lot of them, and more. We're dealing with more of the mental health issues. We're dealing with the physical issues. We're dealing with other issues that we didn't even realize. He may have a drug problem. Or he may have been evicted out of his home. You won't know until you talk to the guy to find out what is going on through him. Meanwhile, I've got homework I still need to work with. And homework, I do mean homework. If I don't get this damn thing done, I'm not passing class. Alright. I'll talk at you later, pal.